How's it going? Today we're going to find out, is the first gen Toyota Sequoia still a good family vehicle and good work vehicle even today? So here's my 2006 Toyota Sequoia with the 4.7 liter V8. This thing has 365,000 miles on it. It's not completely beat up, but it's got some love. It's been well used. So what I want to go over is some of the features of this thing. So this one is pretty bad. It's got the seats all chewed up, but overall it's okay. And don't mind the mess. I work out of this thing and I haul my kids in it every day, and it's not good. So get in here and show you guys. Start it up. So it's got 364,856 miles. Got traction control lights. The check engine light comes on from time to time. But overall, it's still a good vehicle. The AC blows ice cold. The heat is hot. It's still got the factory radio. I got to change that out. It's got one of the biggest single sunroofs I've ever seen in a vehicle, which is cool. So again, like I said, I want to get, is this still a good vehicle? So I work out of it. It's comfortable for me. I've got to get the seat fixed. That's a little, kind of hurts me a little bit every now and then, but I got a guy that rides with me. He rides over there in the passenger seat. Heated seats work. Basically everything works on it. Every now and then it has a little finicky with the check engine light. It's got to get the bypass done for the secondary injection pump. I haven't done that. So, but as far as hauling kids, so I got a bunch of junk in here, kids' papers and stuff for work. So I've got one kid in the kind of the big seat, and then one in the booster seat, and then we have a baby that goes in the third seat there. And I got my son, he rides in the back. So I've got all my work stuff in there. I've got extension cords, air compressor, all sorts of stuff, straps for hauling. So one thing everybody knows about the Toyota Sequoia is the back handles. So I always use the window. I fixed it once without a new handle, so that was my bad. I didn't put a new handle on it. I just patched the original one together, and it broke again. So I just used the window. Like you see, I've got so much stuff back here, but everything back here gets used. Got my cooler for all my drinks. But overall, this thing hauls great. I mean, it hauls my kids. I get all my kids in here. Everybody's comfortable, my dog, and it pulls my trailer. So I have this trailer fully loaded at 6,500 pounds. I can't complain. This thing does as good, if not maybe a little bit better, aside from the interstate. It doesn't hold 75 miles an hour very well, but that's to be expected. But it does a little bit better than my Expedition overall, because the Expedition doesn't have, you know, airbags like this does. But so we're gonna pop the hood on this. Boom. 360,000 miles. I have no idea if the motor's been replaced. I have no idea if the transmission's been replaced. It leaks a little bit. This valve cover, I've got to get valve cover gaskets put on. And I think I'm going to change the coil packs and spark plugs. And if you look under here, it's got a little bit of a leak down here. Not much. I mean, it just kind of keeps everything a little wet. As far as I know, everything's factory. Still got the giant muffler under there. I mean, it's pretty well dry. And I work this thing hard. It doesn't get any rest. You can see my big trailer. It's a 12 foot with a 2 foot nose. It's pretty tongue heavy, but those airbags, you can see those under here, they really help good. I don't know how long they're gonna last. I've had them in there about 6 months. So Needs new tires. They still got the tires on it there when I bought it. And these crap wheels, but it's just a work vehicle. All it is just meant to put miles on. So I just get it and drive it, change the oil. Well, I haven't got to change the oil yet. I've only had it for just a little while. Not quite time. It changed when I got it. But overall, even today, considering how expensive stuff is, I really think that this thing is well worth whatever you can get one for. The hauls, everything is comfy. It's got a DVD player. You can see that's down in here, and I even still have the factory remote, so that's kind of a rarity. But the only thing gripe I have is the storage isn't great. So a lot of newer vehicles I've had have a lot of little storage pockets. The whole door panel is a storage pocket. This one's only about half. Just little stuff like that. I don't have any floor mats. I gotta get some of those. But everything still works. Power seats, both sides. This has been an amazing vehicle for somebody because I'm the second owner of this thing. They put 354,000 miles on it, and then I got it. So you can't complain about that. But overall, yes, the Toyota Sequoia is a very good vehicle, even at today's standards. This one's four-wheel drive. It's got me out of a pinch a time or two with all this wet weather we've had here in Arkansas. So, well, that's kind of my thoughts on the Sequoia. I've got a little bit of a video I'll show you of merging onto the interstate. Kind of it's getting going with this trailer, and I know it's more than it's rated for. I think it's rated for 5,000 pounds, but it handles the 6,500 just fine. And that's the max it pulls, because that's the max of the water that my trailer will hold. I detail for a living, so I've got a 375 gallon water tank on there. The only gripe I have with this thing is the brakes. The brakes are awful. I highly depend on my trailer brakes. I like to have them as a supplement, but I don't like to be dependent on them. But unfortunately, until I get a upgraded brake kit, that's just kind of part of the Sequoia, which I read up on them before I got it, and everybody said that's a big downfall of it. So that's what I think about it. More videos on the Sequoia to come. Maybe doing some brake upgrading, some performance upgrading. We'll just have to see what happens with that. So, thank y'all. Have a good night.